Everyone for hopping on this evening. Hopefully you can hear me okay and the video is coming through. But my name is Justin Mattingly. I'll be presenting some information to you this morning. I appreciate your time. It's one of our most valuable assets that we have every day. And what we do with it is definitely important. So I do appreciate you spending the next 20 minutes or so with me, and hopefully you'll find some good value out of what we have here tonight. And you can thank the person that invited you to check this all out. So just want to kick this off. We've got this quote that really stood out to me. You might have read it while you were waiting, but I'm going to help you here. This new day has greeted us with no rules, unconditional opportunity. Do not dilute the power of this new day with the hardship of yesterday. Greet this day the way it has greeted you, with open arms and endless possibilities. I think in the daily grind, we can all agree that it's very easy to forget how truly important time is and the opportunity we have every single day to create something new. It's really easy to get stuck in the monotony, in the frustrations and challenges of life. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world today, but we all have an opportunity to create the impact in our own life and the lives around us. So definitely keep this in mind as we go forward. Obviously, it's evening right now. You might be listening to the recording, but it's evening right now. Think about this for tomorrow when you wake up and what you plan to do with your day. So what we're going to be talking about is a company called ACTIVZ. Okay, we're going to be talking about the company, the background, the leadership involved, some of the science and products behind this, and really why is it important and what it means for you. So we'll get this thing kicked off here, but let's talk about why are so many smart, hardworking people just getting by. Maybe you're like myself in that you might have went to school, whether it was high school or college, you got your degree, you got your job, and you worked real hard, and maybe you got married, maybe both you and your spouse work, and at the end of the day, there just doesn't seem to be enough money or time to get through, and maybe you're sacrificing health in that process. So what we're going to be talking about today is a solution. We've got three icons up there: health, time, and financial. And that's what we're going to be talking about. We've got the solution, we believe, to all three of those. And so if you're kind of like us, if you were struggling or having challenges with one or all of these areas, we feel like we can offer a solution to that. This may or may not be something for you, but I'm sure that as you look through this, you'll probably know somebody that you'll think of that they would really get a lot out of seeing this recording, and you might invite them to check this out, because unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are struggling. They're looking for answers, and they don't feel like there's anything within reach. And we believe right here with ACTIVZ, we do have the solution. So this guy over here talking to you, my name is Justin Mattingly. I don't have the video on right now. I want to make sure that the audio comes through okay for you all. I don't want to be laggy, but here's my mug here. My background is in business development in the corporate world. I did that for about 10 years, have done a little bit of real estate, did the whole go to college, get a job, and focus on the next 40 years of retiring. Well, that was, not part of my plan. I realized fairly quickly that I was looking for more out of life. I was looking, the money was there. Thankfully, my health was there. I married a personal trainer, so she keeps me on my toes and makes sure I'm eating all the right stuff, even when I want to eat all the bad stuff. And obviously, those kids are a motivator, because I was traveling all the freaking time, managing a $30 million territory over several states. And while it was cool, I was away from my family a lot. And so I was looking for change. I was looking for something else. I was looking for something that I could create leverage. I could create something more that was mine. And that's when this industry fell in my lap. And my wife, Lindsay, and I, we kind of integrated this into our busy lives. And we built something that was impactful. It, spread across not only this country, but in several other countries. And it allowed us for a lot of flexibility to be able to travel and do the things we want. Like, we're starting a little farm here in North Georgia on about 10 acres, and just doing stuff that we love and creating an impact. And it wouldn't be possible, and we wouldn't have been the people that we are today without finding this industry and embracing it. And so I want to talk to you a little bit today about ACTIVZ, again, what we found just recently, what you're seeing right here, this is the corporate staff that is kind of steering the ship. I'd say in this room, I don't want to say decades, I'd say it's closer to hundreds of years of experience in not only knowing what works, but what doesn't. And these are some of the brightest, most humble, leading with heart people I've seen and experienced. And honestly, I'm somebody that's somewhat of a skeptic, and I'm always trying to look for the gotcha. I'm looking for the catch, and I've been looking for it with these guys, and it was originally why I didn't say yes initially. But I'm sure glad that I kept it on my radar, and these guys have just time after time have followed through and done what they said they're going to do. You know, people like Ryan Thompson there on the right, and Dave Brown in the middle there, and John McGarry on the left. You know, these guys have a ton of experience bringing companies not only from the startup area all the way up to, $250 million, and have done this several times. And they are going to be doing this here with ACTIVZ, and even greater, because they've assembled something I have not seen in my history in this industry. And I don't think a lot of other people have either once they start looking at this. So these guys really know what they're doing, these guys and gals, in terms of not only product development, but also from a business development standpoint. You can have the greatest product in the world, but if you don't have the best delivery mechanism and messaging and the compensation to ensure that happens, it's not going to be lasting. And these guys and gals are really doing it right here, leading from the front. And I'm proud to be partnered with them here at ACTIVZ. They've also assembled, this is just several of them, but they've assembled quite a large ACTIVZ advisory board. We've got people from, as you see, Dr. Joseph Maroon. If you look him up, he's a neurosurgeon. He's actually partnered with the Steelers right now as their neurosurgeon, but he's written over 200 different white papers, published. And, so you go from him to, the next person there, Vice Admiral Matt Winter, from the military. And obviously they are very scrutinous with who they're going to allow their Vice Admiral to partner with on the advisory board. And they looked at what ACTIVZ is doing here, and they loved it. And then you've got Dr. Rish Patel, MD, Dr. Brett Earl, MD. We've got scientists, people from communication, marketing backgrounds, and the whole list of people that are here to help keep us accountable and keep steering the ship forward in the right direction, and making sure that we have the best quality of products that are going to meet the needs of consumers, but also stay ahead of trends and make sure that we're not just a Me Too company that really deserves to stand out. And that kind of leads us to the next slide. Is we're focused on an area of study that I didn't really know about. I'm not a science background or a medical background, but it's this word called epigenetics. And you've probably seen stuff around this. It's the study of biological mechanisms that activate gene expression. So the simple way I look at it, this isn't in dictionary.com or something. The simple way I look at it is, naturally activating something in our body that's beneficial, that either wasn't there initially or is improving an area of health. Dr. Larry Martin might be listening right now and saying, it goes a little bit further, and obviously it does. This is definitely very detailed information here. But what I will tell you is my thinking is from a business standpoint. One, I want to obviously understand the health benefits the product's going to do for me and for others, and obviously it's confidence that I can get behind something that I can share. But from a business standpoint, I wanted to say, okay, I might be excited about this, but do other people do other people care about it? Will they pay for something like this? And one area that we're focused on right now is in the area of gut health. As you can see here, gut health awareness is on the rise in recent years with when it comes to Google search trends. And I can only think that it has to do with, unfortunately, the people, the environment that people are in, the dietary habits that, just happen from being on the go, a sedentary lifestyle, sitting at a computer desk all day. It's just not good for you. And that's why a lot of people are looking for this, gut health answers. And we've got the solution. We actually have something called Link. It's what we refer to as cellular jet fuel. And here's just some of the benefits on it. I'll talk about a little bit of the science on the next slide. Like I said, I'm not the science guru, but I'll tell you some of the benefits we're finding with this link is increased metabolism, improved brain function, improved gut function. I think that has to do with this gut-brain connection that they're really finding, that there's so many important correlations and connections when it comes to, let's say, depression, for example. That can be due to gut being out of balance. The microbiome in our gut regulates the immune system, regulates inflammation, which obviously we all know that inflammation is a driver of a lot of illness and disease, and inadvertently benefits the skin. So there's some incredible benefits. That's just a small handful of them. But what Link is it's this thing called butyric acid. Okay, it is a highly bioavailable butyric acid. It's been developed through decades of research. There's over 20 documented benefits, and we have an exclusive patent pending process with this. This was something I wasn't real familiar with initially, and talking to people that are in this space and medical professionals, they're just blown away that we have a process that we're able to actually effectively deliver this butyric acid in this format, which up till now has been near impossible, very difficult and not super available. So it's very interesting, and we're having some incredible benefits and results with this product. And this is just the start, which is awesome. And let's hear from somebody a lot smarter than me on the topic. This is Dr. Brett Earl, and he talks about butyric acid forms the connection not only between the biome, where all the bacteria live in our digestive system in our gut, but also the immune system and then our brains. And it's that connection that really unlocks the power. Those systems need to communicate. They need to be able to function at a high level for us to thrive and really feel well. That's what butyric acid and Link, if you will, does. Okay, so this is Dr. Brett Earl, functional and foundational medicine. Really smart guy, a lot smarter than me when it comes to health and wellness. So I'll definitely believe him. So what we've also done is incorporated not only the health from the inside out, but also health from the outside in. We have a skincare system that's amazing. My wife loves it. I snag some every once in a while, and I really enjoy it also. It currently has 3 components of the system: purifying mud, an essence toner, and a rejuvenating serum. To me, when I read all this stuff, I'm like, okay, well, that sounds like a lot, like a lot of other stuff. I don't really know the difference. But here's what really impacted me, is seeing some before and after pictures. I mean, this is just incredible. You can see on the left there, the wrinkles and the crow's feet, and you look at the right, it's a night and day difference. I mean, to me, it looks like 20-year difference. Angie Hawthorne, our CEO, says it's basically a miracle in a bottle. I think that's about as simple as a way to put it. Here's another before and after. I mean, just the skin complexion is just amazing. And Quincy Hilton, she's an esthetician. She says, even better, you won't have to sacrifice people's health for the results they seek. And I'm sure, being an esthetician, that often happens. There's a lot of chemicals in the beauty space. And unfortunately, they might do the thing that you're wanting it to do, with whether it's get rid of wrinkles on the front end, but what's the long-term effects of that? And that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to sacrifice people's health for the results that they seek. So this is checking all the boxes here. So let's talk about, again, I mentioned why should you really care about this? This was a magazine cover it's probably been a couple years ago, from Success Magazine. I believe Darren Hardy is the creator of that magazine. But this was all about the U economy. You can see a lot of companies on there. Some you probably recognize. They say that the 9 to 5 job is over. Take control of your time, happiness, and money with our complete guide. Now they're talking about all of these different kind of freelance, businesses like Uber and Craigslist and Thumbtack, TaskRabbit, and I'm sure even Airbnb. I'm sure many of you have used several of these, if not a good handful of them. In this magazine, they interview people like Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk. Let's see here, John Maxwell, Mel Robbins. I mean, there's some pretty high level people here, Mark Cuban. So this isn't just something, that's just kind of made up, and you probably are just nodding your head. Yeah, we get it. The U economy. But what does that really mean right now? We've seen this evolution take place, the gig economy. What are you doing for your side gig? And I think that kind of, that's been kind of my whole, my process and my theory for the last, pretty much since I started in the corporate world, because I'm thankful, I'm grateful for going through a terrible experience, which was being laid off right after I got out of college, got my fancy degree, and there was a slowdown in the economy, and I got laid off. And thinking, geez, that's what I was trying to avoid, by going through and sacking up all this debt. And I'm grateful for that, because I always said I'm not going to let my income and my family's future be be predicated by somebody's decision, by one person's decision. I could be the greatest employee ever, but if they can find a way to do something cheaper, quicker, faster, unfortunately they're gonna find a way to do it, and that's just business. And things are being automated. So in today's economy, you've really got to have that mindset. Okay, what can I have as maybe a plan B? What's my side gig? It might not be the end all be all, it might even be your dream job, but maybe it can be that leaping point to that. And so I just want to highlight a couple things here from the U economy. Uber, they own no vehicles, right? YouTube, they own no videos. Facebook owns no content. Alibaba owns no inventory. Airbnb owns no real estate. Now this could change, this could evolve, just like everything, and technology is moving quick. But I think that's impactful. So, if they don't own these areas where they are mega, multi-billion dollar companies, what do they own? What do they do? And they've all created their success by connecting buyers to sellers, by connecting problems to solutions, right? And that's really what we're doing here with ACTIVZ. And we're actually kind of disrupting the model that we play in, which is this direct sales network marketing channel. We're actually disrupting that with what we call the omni-channel system. And I don't know if you've ever had experience. Obviously I don't know who's all listening to this right now, but one potential negative about direct sales is you have something that's unique and you bring this to someone else. Well, if they can just go out to Amazon, they can just go out to social media or read about it in a magazine and buy it. What's really the benefit of them buying it from you and you getting a commission? And that often happens. You might have an incredible product. Well, it ends up on Amazon for $1 cheaper. Why is your friend going to buy it from you rather than from Amazon? And so ACTIVZ has really created a space where we can all embrace all of these channels and not fight them, not act like they don't exist, but to be at the forefront and to be able to all leverage these together, going in the same direction to increase not only the health benefits of the people taking these, but also the financial benefits of all the people involved, whether it's from corporate as well as in the field. So this is incredible how we're kind of disrupting the system here. And this is definitely a low level discussion about this omnichannel. I'll tell you, it's extremely unique. And a lot of people looking at this industry are going to be very, very refreshed when they see this. So let's talk about the leveraged income potential. This is the compensation component of it. Well, like, why is this important? Why should you really be looking at this as a potential business or even a side gig? Is it even worth your time? One of the books I read that was really impactful for me was by a guy named Robert Kiyosaki. And it was called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Really, really cool book, kind of eye-opening on some different things. But there's a discussion about what's called a cash flow quadrant. And that's what this graphic here is. And it talks about, none of these are bad or good or anything, but on the left-hand side, you've got employee and you've got self-employed. This is where what's called linear income. You can only work so much and earn so much because you're limited by time. Whereas on the right side of the quadrant, you actually own a system as a business owner, or you own investments as an investor. And that's where you actually create leverage. Okay, so that word right there, leverage, keep that in mind, because very, very few careers, jobs, have this thing called leverage. And I'll just mention this right now. You might be listening to the recording. I appreciate everybody that's on live with me right now. Um, if you're watching the recording because someone shared this with you, that's called leverage. I'm doing the presentation here, Justin Mattingly, and someone said, "Hey, you might really appreciate this information. Now here you are checking this out." That's called leverage, and it's incredible. You own a system where you can connect information to potential people that want the information. That's all we're doing here, which is really cool. So if you're interested in moving from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant, please stay with me. Watch what we got here. We have a handful of ways to earn here, not just one, not just on the front end, not just on the back end, not short term, long term, but everything. And it gets really big. But I'm not going to talk about all the comp plan. Okay, we've got more detailed videos on the ins and out and intricacies, but it's a very simple comp plan. But I just want to talk about a few elements that really excite me. And the first one is the fast start bonus. See this as more the upfront commission. It's paid 5 levels deep. Okay, so that's really important to think about when you share this information with someone. Let's just say you invite someone to watch this webinar and they say, you know what, hey, John, yeah, this sounds really cool. I want to do this either as a as a business partner or a customer, whatever. You're going to see a 20% thank you from the company. They'll send you a 20% thank you check, which is really cool on a weekly basis. But what's cool is then if John takes that information and sends it to somebody else, you're also going to get a 4% thank you, and John's going to get a 20% thank you. I don't want to overcomplicate things with numbers and percentages and all that, but just if you add all that up, that's a 42% upfront commission that's paid out through those 5 levels. And it really ends up, if you build this the way we're going to train you and teach you and coach you, you're really creating leverage, you're creating duplication. And what you're doing here is you're creating residual income, something that you do the work once, you get paid over and over again. And we've got several different elements of this. We also have what's called loyalty rewards. We really want we want to appreciate people that appreciate us long term. And if you look at the left side, loyalty reward program, each month that you place an order, you're going to receive a loyalty reward points to go towards future product credits, whether it's for yourself or you can gift them out. So if you stay on the products for 1 to 3 months, you're getting a 20% credit back, 4 to 9 months, 25%, over 10 months, 30%. Very cool. And you can fast track to the 25% by enrolling with the premium pack. And we'll talk about that, what that all means. But we also have product credits. So if you enroll your first customer, you connect somebody to they say, you know what, I want to be a customer, you're going to earn 50 product credits yourself. And when you rank advance to an A2, which that doesn't really mean much to you, but it's just the second level of advancement, you get a bonus of 100 product credits. Pretty cool. So a lot of numbers here, but here's what I want to tell you. This is what we call the royalty bonus. It's a unilevel royalty bonus. Think about royalty like this. Royalties come from, Michael Jackson. He wrote some music, plays. It's still playing on the radio, and his estate is still getting checks, even though he's long gone. That's royalty. Same with movie stars. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was doing his government deal and still getting thank you checks for Terminator, and that's what a royalty bonus is. So think about that. When you bring somebody on and they enjoy the product, you're going to get a 10% over and over every month that they order. You're not redoing that thing that you did the first time, but because they're reordering, because they're loving our products, you're going to get a 10% thank you check every month. And you can see how those levels increase as you go. Distributors, 10% on that first level, customers, 20%. You can see all those numbers there. We have all this on the website, so you can dissect it and look over it with the comb. I get a little nutty about numbers. I love numbers. But at the end of the day, guys, you got to look at why. What is the why behind all of these things? Are they creating the correct motivation, correct actions in the business for long-term success? That's what I want. I don't want to have to build a business multiple times. Okay, so think about the whys behind this. Is this going to create the right actions and duplication in your business? And are people that just get started, are they going to be happy? Because that's where everything starts, is where the new people. And I'll tell you, yes, we've got a lot of new people that are crushing it with this. So this is my favorite part of the leveraged income, which is the global bonus pool. Okay, so what the company does is they take 8% of the total volume, so total sales, and they put it in these buckets. Okay, so and it's not just for the people at the top of the company. They actually, from A6, which is less than halfway to the top, all the way up to A16, you're able to take a percentage, a small portion of that 8%, and it increases as you go up in the ranks. So it's just amazing to think about. I'm here in the United States, here in Georgia, and let's just say I'm just getting started. Well, I have just the same opportunity to grab a share of this global bonus pool as the people that started in Mexico last year. There's been an incredible development there. We actually have ribbon cutting coming up here in the next 60 days. And we all have a huge opportunity, because not only in these locations that we're currently in, but we've also got plans for expansion into several other markets over this next year as well. And so think about how big that pool can get as this company grows. It's exciting to me, because I'm looking to build something that has true leverage that I can actually pass down to my kids. And this is something I'm extremely excited about in building a future billion-dollar company. And one thing we do also, ACTIVZ, they offer special promotions. This is a picture of Salt Lake City. They actually recently had a fly out for an incentive trip that, my wife was thankfully we could get her there. She just enjoyed the heck out of it, got to meet everyone there, and she had a blast. And so did a lot of other people that were able to come. But what's cool is it's not just a one-time deal. Anybody watching this right now, you could get a free trip to Utah. I mean, personally, I love that state and that city. It's just beautiful. I love flying into those mountains. But like right now, for example, they've got what's called A6 and beyond. From March 1st to April 30th. So starting now, today's April 4th, you all have an opportunity. ACTIVZ is willing to pay your way to U.S. ribbon cutting event. It's going to be an awesome event. And no matter what your current rank is, you've got an opportunity. So let's just say you got to A2, which is totally simple for anybody to do right now. You get a free event registration, which is awesome. Let's say you get to A6. You get an event registration, 2 nights at the host hotel, a VIP dinner reception, and VIP seating. Pretty awesome. And obviously, A7 and up, you've got to also add a $250 travel voucher. So really cool stuff that they do. And these are just little added things. They've actually got another promotion going on right now too, where you can actually win some free product. So they really do put the distributors first. And I love what these guys are doing. So if it were me, and I'm looking at all this, I'm like, okay, I don't really know this Justin guy. I'm just hearing his voice. I saw his family. Okay, he's probably real. But does this really work for other people? Okay, I'm not like Justin. And we don't expect you to be, okay? We all know that you bring your own unique gifts and abilities and background, and that's who we want you to be, okay? If you look at this screen, obviously, I don't expect you to read all these words here. These are just some testimonials, these different distributors, shared with us. We've got people from Quincy, who's a licensed esthetician, David, a U.S. Air Force veteran, Jerry, an IT manager. We've got Jeannie, who's a retired great grandma, and Mary, a mom and entrepreneur, and Beth, self-employed. She's in California, and Aaron, he's all the way in Michigan. And these guys and these are just a few of the stories of people winning, whether it's people that never had experience in this industry, never, cared to do this, never thought they could, or have done this for a long time and never had success. And now they are with ACTIVZ. And I think it has to do with a few different elements. We've got a great product portfolio, and even, building there, we've got great leadership, great system, tools, timing, comp plan, all those things, checks, all those boxes checked. But I think we also have an incredible culture that's really difficult to put into words and to put on a slide. But I think you're seeing it right here. And I just realized this is the culture, all different backgrounds coming together where we can all leverage the skills and backgrounds and talents, and all strive to lift each other up and help lift others up that are struggling with those 3 things we talked about at the beginning: health, time, and financial freedom. That's what we're doing here. So I'll tell you, if any of this speaks to you, we have several different ways to get involved. One would be as a customer. If you want to try the product, see what it might do for you. I would guess that once you're a customer, you're going to probably think of some people that also need to know about this, and you might kind of merge into what we might call social connector. You might just connect the dots between a few people and get a few thank you checks. It might be a nice little part-time passive thing. Or you might want to be, do something part-time or even full-time where we've got, a home business owner or a global entrepreneur. If you're really thinking big, you liked when I was talking about that global bonus pool. I mean, anybody can tap into that, but the bigger you think, the faster your business will grow, because it all has to do with how much time you want to put into this and what you want out of it and your why behind it. And we can help you get there. But there's a handful of ways to get involved depending on what you see the value here and what you want out of this. So when you're starting a business, we looked into some franchises, we looked into starting our own brick and mortar, and there's always a ton of investment going into it. I thought, okay, what's the business in a box? What's the total value here? Well, with ACTIVZ, you've got marketing materials, which virtual office. Those are both about $100 value. Website hosting, website design, fast start training, ongoing coaching. Obviously, we feel a ton of value here, not to mention our incredible products. But obviously, nowhere near what the investment is for this. We've got several different business pack options, and these are our business investments. Okay, and I'm not a tax professional or attorney, but you need to look at these are potential tax deductions for what you're doing. So think about that also from a home business space. Employees are the highest tax bracket of people, but again, you need to talk to a tax attorney for all that. But what I'll tell you here, we have several different options depending on where you see yourself getting involved. From the basic pack, $190, you get several of the products that you can try for yourself. And then obviously, as you work your way up, we've got the advanced pack and the premium pack. Again, like I said, if you want to be a customer, you want to be, somebody that might be a social connector, maybe start with the basic pack. But if you're somebody that says, you know what, I think I really like this, I can already think of a handful of people that would want to know about this, go all in and get rocking with this. And I'm sure we can help you get to where you want to go with this. So here's what I'll tell you guys. Timing isn't everything. We've obviously talked a lot about a lot of different components, but timing is a key component. There's no joke. Okay, so this right here, I don't know if you guys have seen the what they call is the law of diffusion in business. This is the diffusion curve. So every business goes through a kind of a growth curve. We've got the innovators, small 2.5%, early adopters a little bit more, and then early majority. But then eventually it trails off. But that's the entire market share, and that's kind of the entire life cycle of the business. And our industry isn't different, other than the people that get in early are able to capture that entire market share. And so, I'll tell you, we're right here between where the innovators and the early adopters are. We've got U.S. ribbon cutting coming up May 31st. So what's cool about this is ACTIVZ has established the ability to grow, and they're growing every single month, and in Mexico as well as here in the United States. And we have the official U.S. ribbon cutting May 31st. So even though you could be one of the first to start, we actually do have some demonstrated success. And this is not just a bunch of hype and hoping that this is going to work. We're doing it every day. But I'll tell you, you have an opportunity to be one of the first people in this company to not only be here in the United States, but also to potentially be able to connect others in markets that we're going to be opening, and to tap into that global bonus pool. So I'll tell you, we have an awesome timing right now. And so I wouldn't sit on it. And what I'll tell you guys, last slide, best way to predict the future is to create it. Hopefully that's a good reminder for you, because sometimes we wait and we wish and we hope and we pray, but we've got to be the ones to ultimately do the action. So hopefully you found some value tonight. I really hope I'm getting over a sinus cold here. So hopefully I came through okay and you could understand me. Please get back with the person that shared this with you. And let's just let them know where you stand. If you've got some questions, sure they'd be happy to give the answer. We're not going to connect you with the answers, okay? So just trust that the person invited you wants the best for you, and they're not attached to your decision by any means. But again, this is Justin Mattingly. I really do appreciate you hopping on and spending some time with me this evening, and I do look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.